Right then, Lijang Tower will be our last map, potentially, if Lunatic-hai can take it out. We still see no Zenyatta here, so both teams persisting with the Ana pick coming in. See a little bit of damage being traded out earlier on here already. It was Dean put to sleep straight away. Nicely done by Dummy to keep their Xayah out of the fight earlier on. Not really going to amount to too much ultimately here. Now as the two teams square off here around the middle part, God's being taken out. Now both of these Anas really trying to outdo each other, Jason. It's really hard to do that when you already have Lijang in a good position like this. It's kind of him in the prime position that you need to play Ana from. Yeah, there's going to be that pillar in the middle, but you can kind of run around it. You can kite really well. You're seeing Enigma try to get into the backlines, it looks like a little bit, but again, Lijang not being focused down. He's able to keep Toby alive, who's just trying to run away. Well, Enigma will eventually pick up the kill. And Lijang, again, he's just positioning really well. He's always trying to be behind his team, and if anyone ever does dive in on top of him, the entire team can turn and kill him. This is an incredibly hard map to stay alive as Ana, because this is Tracer's playground. In an earlier version of Control Center, there used to be more barriers in the central room, which would allow Tracer literally to run circles around the enemy team and stay alive and stall out for a great amount of time, while constantly breaking that line of sight. Now a little bit harder, of course, it is for her, but still, to get on towards the enemy Ana, there are multiple ways you can approach this, from the outside, through this room, and of course straight up the guts here. So, yeah, Ana players beware, it's going to be tough. Eska playing the McCree here as well, interestingly enough, now has himself the nano boost here, but still, sound barrier on energy, not going to get a lot of damage done early on. He's knocked to the ground now as well, so he's going to lose most of that ult. Now, at least has a sound barrier, so he can pick himself up and pick up Milo, but put to sleep yet again. Dummy really lifting in the terms of getting those sleep darts in this game, putting Eska on the ground here, but he gets up and gets on towards Dummy this time. The revenge is complete. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get the sleep dart, but the follow-up needs to be there. They need to kill him just after that, especially when it's someone as valuable as a McCree. Is Eska really going to go on high ground? Is he actually might do it. He's got Deadeye. The pub strat, let's go. I do quite love trying to do this in your pub matches. Just go up top and just hit Q. But Milo's going to have his shield and Gods. If you're playing the Roadhog, you definitely can hook him here. There's a triple tank setup for energy. Trying to just push their way through. They're not running the Reaper anymore, which Miro's going to be more than happy to be fighting up against, or not to have to fight up against, most importantly. And the position they're actually playing from, they're trying to lure energy in to allow Eska to hit the Jedi from above. A little bit tricky for McCree to find squishy targets on this team now with the Roadhog in the mix, but it's going to be a pulse bomb drop to the feet of Eska. It's going to be enough to find Gods to take him out of the mix already, so despite Gods finding his target and getting up close enough, he's not able to get the damage down before he's picked up himself. He needs a bit of protection. Eska ultimately didn't actually really stay up high very long, and must have dropped down for this fight here. And he hasn't used that Deadeye at all, but now the Graviton Surge comes in. A lot of people are caught up in that one, and Milo gets 3 kills through it. Nicely done for him. The tank really lifting here for energy. Toby going to find Dummy though, but energy now starting to fight back a little bit more. Toby hooked in. Gods finds him. He's just returned to the fight, and you can see that Miro has to back away despite having himself a nano boost. He's actually trying to get in towards and stop any reinforcements from coming on, but no, it's not going to be enough. Yeah, he's actually going to hook back in, and the back grenade's not going to be enough. Gods will take him down with 50 health remaining. Now with the whole hog available, looks like energy will be able to turn the point back to themselves. Even Eska trying to go for the Deadeye off to the side, but he connects with absolutely nothing. But that's going to be Milo going down to the pulse bomb on Lijang, and Eska, he's going to get the kill on Enigma. He gets a double headshot, but the sound barrier was there in time out of poops. Well time from here indeed, but they are missing Milo in this fight though. That's an important part. Dean falls to Gods though, manages to find him, and Miro going to go quite low himself. Eska's going to have to be careful. He needs to give a lot of respect to these big tanks playing on the point, and with Gods fighting Lijang as well, he now has to be extra careful. Seagull on towards Toby, that's the hook. Gods hits yet another one. Eska going to fall, and that's why Energy have taken this pick. He's dealt with both McCree and Tracer on this push in. God's really doing his job now on this Roadhog. That's what's really interesting, the fact that we do see a Roadhog, but we don't see a Reaper being played out of Lunatic-hai. They're still committing Eska to the McCree. But Enigma's now switched. He's gone Reaper himself, so they went back to the Nambani strat they went with the heavy tank damage that they can pull off. And Lunatic-hai, I think they're going to have to adapt. Though, Eska does decent, or does really well against Enigma. The problem is he has to dodge Gods, who just seems to be hitting every hook he's throwing. Miro just switched towards Reinhardt here, but I think he's going to be dead pretty quickly. He got charged up, but seems to have survived it here. Milo wasn't able to get away with that one though as well. Lunatic-hai almost bait that charge in, and now the Graviton comes through. Gods doesn't actually have much to work with here, but Energy do. Plenty of direct fire coming in towards that Graviton clump of Lunatic-hai. And now there's a chance for them to bring it. Even the hook comes in. Lijang going to fall yet again. Gods is just so good at finding those traces around corners and picking them with a hook. And now at 85% here, this is getting really close for Energy to close out this first point. Gods has a whole hog. Miro's actually being slept back in towards the spot. Eska's going to try to charge in. They don't really have too many people to get on top of the point in terms of tankiness. The shield's going to come down for the flashbang, but they don't have the damage behind this one. Eska hits the flash up the top, you're right, but it's not going to be really too much in the end. It's going to be Pook trying to keep his team alive. The healing from Dummy also helping Seagull, and Gods combining nicely again, and Energy open up well this time, hoping to turn their fortunes around, as Nepal was definitely not going to be the field of their dreams. But they're fighting now to keep themselves alive in this series, and taking Command Center away is a damn good start. I think if we see that come up again, if we do have Lunatic-hai take a map, then most certainly Lunatic-hai is going to have to switch. They're going to have to pull in a Reaper into this. You can't allow Gods to do this much work.
and you're using a lot of your shields from Dean over to Litasia just to keep him alive from the hooks, not to mention just the straight damage that's coming your way whenever Gods throws off a right click. Well done by NRG. I guess the pep talk they had in between the last map and this one is really starting to kick in. The pressure's definitely on.
Gods had an incredible game there as well. To be fair, seeing the McCree switch from Lunatic-hai on that map, I feel is a little bit cocky. It's very, very hard for McCree to find safe places to be there, especially when you've got people jumping in. And then the Roadhog came out. Gods just nailed it. Finally, Tajon twice that we could see even more off camera, I'm almost certain of it. But now Eska's going to switch back over towards a Reaper here.
Yeah, so he's playing a little bit differently than last time. He still has Mira to parry in with, and he's trying to actually shove him straight back. You're trying to focus out on Gods, who's actually on a sliver of HP. The record 8 heals quite a bit. Mira's able to take down Seagull. I think she might have gotten a knockoff onto him, but Dean's going to get hooked back in by Gods, but just pulling himself to his death here, as Gods will eventually fall, and the entirety of energy will be wiped out. Lunatic-hai won't get the first capture. They have a pulse bomb here. This is going to be dangerous for energy to even cross this bridge. I wonder if they're going to split up. If they're going to send Enigma around the side, towards the back, the right-hand side of your screen, or if they're all going to continue to try to come across the bridge with the help of Milo's shield.
It might be more than one of them. They're all going to go around towards that side. With the looks of things now, I'd say it was Enigma actually pushing early on, just teasing on towards the point here, maybe just trying to keep Lunatic-hai on their toes, but now Enigma coming from a different angle entirely. He's going to need to deal with Lijang here pretty darn quickly, or maybe Lijang might be the target. He's not sure here. He's a little bit overstimulated, Enigma, at the moment, struggling to actually find himself a target, and maybe just deciding to go back and help his team here as the sound barrier comes in. There's a Graviton being used on towards energy right now, so Enigma needs to act very quickly.
Eska's actually being forced back by the nano boost out of Milo. He's actually going to be able to use the Wraith Form in time to get away. Miro picks himself up a double. He kills both supports. That should never happen. Where was the backup for the backline of energy? And the Gods and Seagull just going to jump up to their jets just to respawn back in with their team. Lunatic-hai going to be up to about 55-60% before energy have another attack.
I mean, energy try and work from the right side of the map, Jason, through those corridors. That's the worst place to run into a Graviton Surge, or at least it's the easiest place to use a Graviton Surge against an attacking team. So Dean caught a lot of people in that one. Miro picks off both supports with the Tesla cannon, of course. It's very, very easy for a Winston to walk up and zap that ball of flesh that is the enemy team.
Oh, Earthshatter comes in. The boop comes in as well. Poops is going to get revenge as he knocks Eska off the map, but it doesn't matter. It looks like they've been able to pick up enough kills. The Graviton Surge is going to come in. It's going to secure the kill into one. Miro again in the backline takes down Dummy. This man's just knocking people off the map.
Sometimes the Reaper Copter has to take a crash landing, Jason. It's not always as stylish and as effortless as it might seem. Toby, 2 quick kills there. He finds Gods and Enigma in that fight. Man, Lucio's have been a very important part of this game, especially given how much fighting's been happening on these bridges.
I think Enigma actually back half the point. In the midst of that, the problem is the rest of his team just died, and then he gets 1v1 by the Lucio. Well, there's a little bit extra damage in from some other teammates, but still he dies.
To be fair, Toby can 1v1.
Yeah, that is true. But 8%, that's not worth it. And that's why I'm not really feeling the Tracer pick in the way they're attacking. They're all coming in as a team. Why not go for McCree? You can deal with Eska, you can deal with Litasion. And the question is, if you go McCree, you lose Gods on Reaper. That means Enigma's going to need to pick it up.
A couple shots coming in here from Lijang just to cut energy down to size as they approach the point. To get through, and God's now going to come forward here. Doesn't have a death bottom, but it's desperate times and desperate measures are required. Sound barrier now coming out from Lunatic-hai's. Dummy's the first to fall. Lijang picks him out of the mix yet again. He's been so good at that on the Tracer, and Gods can't even catch him. He's too quick, zipping left and right with the blink, and now God's forced to walk back onto the point. He's got no safety mechanics left anymore, no more invulnerability frames, and no more time to live as Eska quickly eliminates him there with a Hellfire Shotgun blast to the guts. And Lijang now just to chip him with the rest of Lunatic-hai to clean energy up.
Enigma's trying to stall. He had Pooks there for a second. Toby gets the 1v1 against him, might have knocked him off the map. And Lunatic-hai will tie things up at 1 apiece, and we can't stress how critical this map is for energy. It's only a best of 5, and Lunatic-hai are already up 2-0 in the entirety of the series. You cannot afford to lose too many more of these maps.
The problem is when energy are winning these rounds, it's fighting tooth and nail to get themselves there. They definitely haven't found any weaknesses, I think, in Lunatic-hai's armor. One thing that players often said to us over the last few days is that there are a few, clear situations in which Lunatic-hai makes mistakes, and they were hoping to exploit that as much as possible. But Jason, I haven't seen many of those, or at least I haven't seen energy exploit them in any recognizable fashion.
I could agree. I could definitely agree. I mean, it's also, I feel like the window to exploit any weaknesses Lunatic-hai has is so small. And it's all about taking down their support core or taking down Miro, kind of force him into a jump that maybe necessarily shouldn't be going for. You get the kill into him, then you have finally a man advantage. But look at this. Looks like energy's gonna be swinging around the backside. Lunatic-hai coming from the front. They're gonna fight directly at the point with the help of the shield out of Milo. But so far the shield's about to be broken. The Bark Grenade is doing a lot of work, but There's the counter barricade coming through, and I would expect an engage to come in any second now.
Well, they don't really need to be honest. NRG are forced to back away from the point now. They don't really want to fight in this close area because they're just going to get completely wrecked. I mean, it's going to happen anyway. Lijang there straight on towards Gods to start things off. Milo at least gets on towards Dean. Seagull falls down, and the Reinhardt is a very interesting pick on this map, especially when NRG are trying to fight from behind the point.
And even fighting behind the point is just weird in general, Reinhardt or not. The fact that Dummy got booped off the map by Toby again, and I think Seagull might have got knocked off and or jumped off. Like, you can't really win a fight from that position when there's a Lucio, even a Winston on the enemy team. You have to fight on the point. You have to kind of skirmish. When you have a Reinhardt, you're used to really poking a lot by sitting behind the shield. But they don't really have that potential. All you have is really Dummy. You don't really have a McCree to help out from that position.
And for whatever reason, NRG don't really want to stand and deliver right now. They don't want to fight in the middle of the map and play that very standard gentleman's agreement trade fest in the middle. Dummy going for a sleep dart there, but not remotely connecting it, and losing Milo. Milo getting picked off here, so NRG can't even move as a unit right now. They've got some guys on the higher ground, some trying to move through the low, but with Milo getting picked off and Seagull so low, NRG, it's going to be a little while before they can make an approach. But 4 ults are ready to go for them now, and Seagull's not far away from a Graviton.
Problem is, if the Graviton comes up, Toby's been so on point with hitting these sound bears, I don't know if the combo's going to work unless you can somehow eliminate him. Milo's going to go down again immediately to Milo. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Miro might have knocked him off the map or just killed him outright. And then Nenabus on Eska is going to allow him to do so much work on a Pooks.
Incredibly messy fight here. Sound barrier coming out a little bit late in the piece for NRG, if I'm honest. But Dummy still manages to find Eska. That's a good start. Bit of revenge from him. Enigma has himself a pulse bomb ready to use that one, but doesn't need it to deal with Toby. He tries to jump, hop, skip, jump his way through. It's not going to be enough. Enigma finds Lijang as well. But kind of telling that those two supports are among the last players to fall from Lunatic-hai, as NRG had no way to get into the backline and assassinate them.
Yeah, and with actually Miro being pushed out of the fight a little bit, Dummy was allowed to sit on the high ground without being pressured by a Winston and get so much extra healing off, which eventually turned NRG into taking the point. They still have the Graviton Surge and the Pulse Bomb combo. They know the Soundbear is not available for Lunatic-hai. It's just about pairing these together and, well, most importantly, not losing Enigma before the fight even begins.
Enigma just trying to back away here as well. We do see the switch over towards a Roadhog for Gods here. It's worked out in the past, and it's going to have to work out now to keep them still going in this series. Graviton Surge is being used by both teams. Pulse Bomb, though, that's going to hurt. Enigma gets himself 2 quick kills. Lijang falls. So does Dean. It was stuck to Lazaya, and Lijang got a little bit too close for comfort. 3 now for Enigma in this fight, and NRG to extract a little bit of control over towards this point.
Finally, some momentum is building up for NRG. Gods has switched from the Reaper to Roadhog, by the way, in this last fight. Already up to 90% on his ultimate. And they have the Earth Shatter Nano Boost available to be used. So I'm imagining it's going to go to Milo. He's just going to swing away after using the Earth Shatter and almost build up another one off the back of that. They can start to recycle and only commit a minimum amount of ults to actually winning these fights. So Lunatic-hai have to be really careful. At 75%, they only really need one real fight to actually close out this map.
And the Reinhardt in the middle here as well for NRG takes on, I guess, a different facet now. They have control of the middle of the map. That's going to be poked down and poked through for the most part here. Whole Hog coming out from Gods, and Eska trying to get in with a Death Blossom, but it's not going to work. No, it's going to be Hook coming in, and Dummy finishes him off yet again. Dummy really getting his revenge in this game so far, but somehow still Lijang was able to get in and deal with Gods. Still, NRG dealing with the brunt, the spearhead of Lunatic-hai's attack. Well, Dummy's going to be able to pick up Lijang as well. It's definitely been a game for him. He's had a great performance so far.
Dean, he's trying to regroup with his team here, but he's taking so much damage. 200 HP left to go. Looks like he will be able to regroup in time. Not to mention feed a lot of ult over to Lijang, who used it on the Eska in the last fight, but Eska just wasn't able to capitalize off of that. God's got a nice hook off to interrupt the ultimate towards the later end of it. And Seagull with Graviton Surge is looking for a combo, and with 3 people knocked down, they're going to throw everything into this one. Milo's going to get actually slept in the middle of this, but no one's died. From the post bomb's going to come through, but it doesn't kill anyone because Toby had the sound barrier down.
Gods finds Eska to trade out between the DPS players, but Seagull gets on towards Lijang. Now Dean has to try and stay alive, but no, not going to be enough. Seagull finds him, it's Zaya v Zaya action. Seagull gets his opposite number. Now Lijang just has to plant himself on the point and keep this one going, but NRG look like they want to charge their way forward. They force him back away. Lijang needs to get more health, then he needs to blink back on towards the point to keep this one going. Miro jumped in for a brief moment as well, and even Eska's there. It's all stall and nothing else. Enigma with 2. Dummy again gets Lijang, and it should be NRG to take this one back. They're going to go up 2-1 in this series, and finally a glimmer of hope for the American squad fighting to stay in this series.
But look at their faces though. Look at Seagull. He does not look happy at all to be in this position in the first point. This is not a good sign for them, but the reverse sweep, it can still happen. It's going to take a hell of a lot of time and effort out of them to pull it off. But Toby,
yeah.
you talked about Toby a lot actually. And I wasn't a huge fan of him until I saw him play now today. The amount of boops he's been able to pull off and the critical sound barriers as well have been so spot on. And Dummy finally able to have a good game there. Finally able to hit a lot of sleep darts and pick up a lot of kills actually.
Yeah, I was saying that the Reinhardt pick here for NRG when you're in that sort of main courtyard or night market, you can give a lot of protection, of course, for your backline and allow you to do things like Dummy can just sort of spray shots one after another in towards the enemy side. But the fact that he's in the mix, getting those kills on towards the Reapers and the Tracers there is really, really good. And it's what he needs to do. Aaron does a lot of damage. And players that understand that and embrace the fact that she needs to do some fighting will get the most out of it.
Let's see, Eska going to push straight through. Great sleep dart actually cuts Gods out, which means Milo's have to push forward, and eventually for him, the shield's just not going to enough to protect the rest of his team. And that's going to be a clean fight. Lunatic-hai not really struggling in the first initial engagement, but NRG, they have switched things up. They are still keeping Gods on the Roadhog from the prior map, from the prior time they played on this map, most importantly. But NRG really struggled at retaking this point once Lunatic-hai got on top of it. It was very difficult, and Gods keeps looking for these quick picks, but Lunatic-hai are being very smart about this.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can expect to see Lijang just present himself, and Lijang might try and zip up behind him or try and split them up. So, it's more of a reactive play there for Gods, but Lijang keeping himself safe now, knowing that he's got to be a little bit careful with the Roadhog in the mix. It's interesting that he wants to stay on this Tracer here, but it's worked out for Lunatic-hai, despite there being a Roadhog here. Gods is still searching for those picks. He's there to peel for his team. He's there to eliminate those key threats as they jump into NRG's backline. But speaking of backline, Enigma's already managed to get in towards Lunatic-hai. As Pulse Bomb comes in, but God still gets rid of Toby. That's a worthwhile trade. The healing was going to be there anyway, so NRG, you're laughing all the way to the bank. Another one comes in. Gods hits the point blank on Lijang. Lijang's going to have to back away. He was so low. And a hook as well. Gods from one to the other. It's like Tarzan, except a chain hook.
Enigma's going to have the Pulse Bomb up for this fight too. Miro is going to have finally his Primal Rage to be used, but you can jump into the point. And if NRG aren't careful, actually, if they fight out in this courtyard, they could be easily knocked off the map. But Seagull with the Graviton Surge, I think they're looking for the two-man combo. Save the rest of the ultimates for the next fight because they're going to have 6 in just a few seconds. And Gods is still looking for picks. He's going to pull in Miro. Did he get him in the jump? It looks like he's able to jump out of that one, actually, so they didn't get him in time.
Just able to get away. Now the Graviton coming in, though. Gods has got the perfect combo. Whole Hog and Graviton Surge. It's gross. Pulse Bomb even committed to that one as well. Maybe overused there for NRG, but still, they need to keep control of this point. Lunatic-hai, having had 40% to start off with, NRG can't afford to allow this one to go over at all. They still have 3 key ults to work with here, but perhaps they didn't need to use 3 in that fight.
And actually, I think Miro, so I think he failed his first jump, popped his Primal Rage to jump again, because you get the reset, obviously, once you pop your ultimate. And he was able to still survive that one, but it forced the ultimate out of him, which is actually a good win for NRG.
Yep, it's massive. And Lunatic-hai had to push in there as well. Now Eska just going to come straight on through. Good Earth Shatter coming out from Milo, and then he's going to line them up and charge them up against the wall. Was more than happy to take his time and savouring that one, removing the Reaper from the map. And also, this, of course, the Sound Barrier here going to be a factor. Of course, Pooks has that one available, but doesn't need to use it, as NRG just start the fight so damn well, and the healing coming from Dummy and Pooks going to keep them on their feet. They lose no one for that fight, and they wipe Lunatic-hai.
And they're going to have Nano Boost now. They're going to have another Pulse Bomb out of Enigma, who's really started to step up in this game. Again, Gods, I think he just pulled Toby off the map, or maybe just point blank killed him here. With him down, they have to wait even longer, but 75% build up for NRG. There's not a lot of time for Lunatic-hai to actually take this one back. They have to make something happen. Eska on the Reaper has been pretty much having no effect past that first fight, because Gods has been doing a great job of hooking him in time and time again.
Well, NRG have done a great job of holding onto their ultimates as well. That's been super important. A charge comes in. Milo is going to get knocked towards the ground and actually manages to stay up there. Lijang tried to sleep my thing, but he just picked himself back up on his feet and kept going. Lijang's not in a position to get on towards his point here, and NRG should be able to take this one away. I don't think there's even any chance for any sort of overtime here. No, it's going to be NRG to take away map number 3. They stay alive. They had to dig deep on Lijang Tower, but they get the job done.
Oh, NRG really coming back there. You have to wonder what was the difference between Nepal and Lijang Tower. Maybe the break they had to talk things over about control point maps was enough. But honestly, Gods on the Roadhog was insane. The amount of hooks he hit was fantastic. The amount of damage he did, period, was ridiculous. You saw him actually pick up like 2 hooks in the initial fight when they took the point back, and then the point blank kill on Lijang gave him no chance to make that Tracer work.
Yeah, I mean, he's been